Hi, I'm Aaliyah Friedman.
And I am Louis Kim.
And we are your co-hosts for Imperial Investment Insights podcast. Before we introduce our first guest, we want to tell you a bit about IIIP. We are Imperial Investment Society's student podcast, and our mission is helping students learn about the financial markets and helping students to land a job in finance.
In order to do so, we are going to bring guests from all across the financial industry, in addition to leading researchers at Imperial.
We will also be spotlighting the student analyst at Investment Society's Student Fund.
Every episode, we will have a market update, stock pitch, so students can learn how to deliver one, and a different career in finance and highlighting any upcoming job opportunities.
So if you're curious to learn more about the financial markets,
or if you are already an expert,
our podcast is the 20-minute update you won't want to miss. Welcome, and thanks for listening to IIIP.
Hi, I'm Toby. I'm studying the Masters in Investment and Wealth Management, and I will be doing the market update.
Hi, my name is Emanuele. I'm studying mechanical engineering, and I'll give a sector update on the energy sector.
Global stocks have recently been mixed, exaggerated by the re-election of Donald Trump. The S&P has continued its rise this week, following the surge after the election, driven by a strong earnings report from Nvidia and others, alongside the positive sentiment for Trump's plans to increase output. In particular, the appointment of fund manager Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary has been very well received by markets. The FTSE 100 has seen an approximately 2% increase in the past week, its biggest weekly rise since May. However, the sentiment seems uncertain, with fears of sluggish growth following the major tax increases in Rachel Reeves' budget, alongside increasing inflation figures up to 2.3% last month. The DAX saw a 1% jump, driven by rate cuts from the ECB, which is reducing rates more aggressively than other central banks. Both the Bank of England and the Fed have also implemented recent rate cuts, but have commented on their intentions for slower cuts. This caution is influenced by the inflationary pressures, particularly stemming from Trump's fiscal policies in the US and the UK's recent price rises. Yields have seen a downward trend this year, as expected with rate cuts, but have seen considerable volatility due to the anticipated rate cuts, which at times did not come. The inflationary pressures, both in the UK and US, have seen yields begin to creep back up this month and could continue to rise if the inflation jumps as some expect. China's economic concerns appear to be persisting, with weak consumption and continuing deflationary pressures. These economic problems are highlighted by the Hang Seng falling 7% this month and almost 3% over the past week. The Japanese economy shows mixed signals after finally seeing economic growth in the third quarter, with the Nikkei rising 1% last week. Looking forward, markets will be keeping a close eye on any news from the Fed regarding the intentions with interest rates. Additionally, the implementation of Trump's policies, including geopolitical factors such as the US-China trade dynamics. These uncertainties could lead to opportunities, particularly in the defensive sectors.
For this week's analysis, myself and the analysts in the energy team at QTC see ConocoPhillips as a strong buy. ConocoPhillips is a leading multinational American company which specializes in the production, exploration, and marketing of crude oil, natural gas, and liquefied natural gas. The current share price stands at $107, which is a 10% decline in year-to-date share price. We see a potential 20% upside in share price in just the next 2-3 quarters. The key reasons and drivers to this increase in share price are its operational efficiency, the recent acquisition of Emerald, and the new Trump administration. What's unique about ConocoPhillips is that it has a price-to-cash flow ratio of 13.5, which is amongst the lowest in the largest oil and gas companies. This financial metric is essential for an oil and gas company, as cash flows in the industry tend to be unpredictable and volatile. Additionally, the recent acquisition of Emerald could bring up to $1 billion in synergies, both from the costs and revenue perspectives. This deal was fully financed through stock, which enables the company to maintain a high cash position. Finally, the new Trump administration aims to boost oil and gas domestic production, which will increase demand to which ConocoPhillips will be able to supply to. The industry will also be heavily deregulated, which will bring new exploration opportunities. The only real risk associated with ConocoPhillips is its dependence on crude oil and natural gas prices, like every other oil and gas company. We believe that the factors previously mentioned will outweigh this risk and believe that ConocoPhillips is a strong buy and a lucrative stock.
Hi, Rebecca. Welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
We're really honored to have you today, but for those who don't know, how would you introduce yourself?
Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca Fayad. I am president of the Imperial Investment Society. I'm a third-year chemical engineer at Imperial. I also serve as the president of the Entrepreneurship Society. And some other things about me, I own a couple startups. One of them is an NGO, and I am also a World Economic Forum Global Shaper, which is really exciting.
Sounds like you have a lot of title there. And as a president of an investment society, can you tell us more about the investment society?
Of course. So the Investment Society is the largest society by members at Imperial, which is incredibly exciting. We also have ranked number 1 in the UK for business and finance. So what we do, our main kind of vision and aim for our members is to equip them with everything that they need, from workshops to mentorship to networking events, etc., in order for them to get the position that they dream of at the end when they graduate university. So that's the main things that, we try our best to kind of give them everything they need, from A to Z, mapping out spring weeks to summers to graduate jobs, making sure that they are perfectly fit for everything that they need then.
That sounds like a worthy goal and lots of things that you guys can do. But I'm curious, does Investment Society have like a guiding vision?
So yes, we do. So obviously every year what we try to do is build on the previous year. So let's say this year, for example, I'm sure we'll talk about that later as well, but we're trying to turn QTC into a real money trading fund. And that is one of my first biggest mission and goals when I became president. Also kind of bringing the investment society to the world, because we get such incredible speakers. So obviously Imperial Insights, which thanks to you guys is going to go, global, where loads of people can hear about what we're doing, etc. And that for me is the main leading thing. And at the end of the day, Imperial is a very STEM forward university. And what I want to try to do as a chemical engineer myself is to tell all of our engineers, our mathematicians, scientists, medics, that it's not only for the people who study econ, finance, accounting, etc. to go into all those huge, industries in finance. It is also for us, and we are just as capable, if not more, to make it in those industries.
Sounds amazing. And as a personally, I'm also a member of Investment Society, and I have attended lots of events there. So what kinds of events do you host, and is there any industries you mainly focus on?
Of course. So to answer your second question first, I know our name is the Investment Society, but we do focus on everything that's finance related from banking. So we go into obviously investment banking, but we also do sales and trading, asset management, private equity, hedge funds, anything that has to do with money, we're doing it. Sometimes we even get consultancy, we get insurance, we get law firms, we get, the whole deal of financial industries. And so we don't really focus on anything in specific. However, at the start of the year, we always send a survey to kind of see what people are interested in. And investment banking does tend to rank quite high there, for the main reason that it's very transferable from scientific backgrounds. In terms of the kind of events that we host, I think our flagship events, or if you want series, is our lecture series, the SEC course that we host at the start of the year. Super excitingly, this year we had over 1,000 signups from Imperial, Oxbridge, LSE, UCL, and we're the only university in the UK who hosts a CFA-backed course, which is a CFA-based course, which is incredibly exciting. Other than that, we have workshops, networking events. So let's say today, for example, we have Bloomberg coming over, giving us a workshop on Bloomberg terminals. On Saturday, we had a networking event with private equity associates and analysts in the London Marriott Kensington Hotel, which was super exciting, and just lectures and everything you can dream of, panels, everything that students want. We have it all the way down to golf as well.
So I know you mentioned a little bit earlier about QTC, and I'm just, for our listeners out there, what is that? What does it refer to?
Of course. So Queen's Tower Capital, QTC for short, is our fund. And so we have different asset classes that meet every week. those asset classes or equities, commodities, FX, etc. They meet every week. They come out with stock reports and presentations, stock pitches to then pitch against each other, to then finally at the end come together as a competition, and then pitch in front of investors, hedge fund, asset managers. So it works exactly like a fund together, and it's a very big kind of flagship events that we have every year. We have loads of applicants. This year we had over 800, which is insane because we usually get it around 100, and we are also kind of speed firing through our quant side, like our systematic side of the funds. For the listeners interested in quant trading, this is something that a lot of Imperial students are really excited about, and we're doing that in collaboration and kind of guidance as well of the Algo Trading Society, which is quite cool to get everyone involved together.
All right. For the record, don't worry about the asset class and all these like professional words and titles in there. We're going to cover that in other episodes.
Yeah, stay tuned for the Christmas special, and you'll get an overview from actually Rebecca herself.
Definitely.
She, as alluded to earlier, they have the SEC lectures where they cover all of this stuff. But I just wanted to ask, so for QTC, is it real money fund? I know a lot of UK universities, the fund that they use is not, at least compared to the US.
Yeah, no, so it isn't. But as I mentioned, one of my biggest missions this year was to try and at least start moving it towards a real money fund. We have gotten some really exciting interest from alumni to kind of get that started, but we are definitely working on it, which is super exciting, and we'll definitely have an episode and when that comes out.
Yep, and you heard this first. So if there's anyone listening out there who wants to sponsor Imperial students, some of the best, budding investment talent out there, QTC, we're looking for a sponsor.
Yeah, this is the right game. And our last question for you is like, how can students get involved in the Investment Society and the QTC?
Of course. So QTC sign-ups currently are closed. However, we will be opening them up again in second term. So for any students who, let's say, did the SEC course in the first term and now have a better idea of what they want to do, they can apply again in second term. Otherwise, as a society as a whole, then definitely sign up as a member. It's a free membership for everyone, and you get access to everything, our events, even we have a file that's full of just application help, in-depth, even question banks of what has been asked in previous years in different interviews, mentorship, etc. So anything like that will be available to you as a member. So that's, I think, the number one thing. Just stay up to date. We have an Instagram, we have a WhatsApp community. Definitely be active on there. And in terms of specific involvement, then always reach out to me. I love when people come and text me personally. I will never put a job role out there simply because usually just people want to add stuff on their CVs, and everyone in our team is super passionate about what they're doing. So a lot of people who, just like you guys, come up and then say, hey, we want to create something. Yeah. My head of events, for example, or head of marketing, we're exactly that, and we're doing incredible stuff. So definitely get in touch with the committee. We all would love to hear from all of you, even if you're not at Imperial, which is incredible.
And just to ask, is there, you mentioned an Instagram account, like do you have a tagline that people can search for, an account name?
So it's IC Investments. So that is our Instagram name, and we have a link tree with everything on there as well. You can even go on investmentsoc.com. This is our website, and you'll have all of the information on there.
And if people want to contact you, do you have a preferred channel directly?
Yes, definitely add me on LinkedIn. My name is Rebecca Fayad. I do check my messages quite often on there, so do drop me a message, and then usually I then give you my number to then hop on a call or carry on the conversation.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for joining us and for believing in us and helping to bring this podcast to light.
Thank you so much, guys.
That was so helpful.
Super, super excited. Thank you so much for having me, and I can't wait for more.
This week on our internship spotlight, Rockefeller Capital Management. They're looking for a summer analyst in the European institutional sales. The job is based out of London, United Kingdom. Rockefeller Asset Management is seeking a summer analyst to support the international sales team. The summer analyst will assist with institutional sales and client service efforts across the team's constituents. More information can be found on their website. And remember, make sure to apply early. Thanks for listening to Triple IP.
This week, I want to introduce about Risk Management Division. Risk management is about identifying, assessing, and mitigating potential risks to protect a company's financial health and operational stability. Risk managers analyze market trends, credit exposures, and operational process to develop strategies that minimize losses and ensure compliance with regulations. For example, a risk manager in a bank may use stress testing to evaluate the impact of economic downturns on loan portfolios, while in fintech, they might prevent fraud by analyzing transaction data for irregularities. Key skills include analytical thinking, financial modeling, and regulatory knowledge.
Credit to our producers, Aaliyah Friedman, Louis Kim. Head of Marketing, Samhat Raman. Juniors, Ken Zhang, Angie Zhao. Head of Scriptwriting, Alfred Choi. Juniors, Aditya Muthakumar, Kwan Lin. Head Liaison, Lucrezia Poloni. Junior, Ekaterina Vitor. Head of Audio, Isaac Chu. Junior, Cyrus Lee. Head of Sponsorship, Sami Liu and Vladimir Dmitriev. Juniors, Leo Lee, Jamila Tabet, Utkarsh Jetli.